Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Procurement Nuggets. This is David Nash, the question of the day guy. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about the environmental framework of public procurement. There are a number of factors out there that influence how we operate. We have formal and informal interactions between elected officials and agency personnel. We buy all different types of goods and services. I'd like to think oftentimes we're buying solutions and not just products or services. How professional is the procurement staff? Are they certified? Are they have college degrees? What are the staffing levels? Do we have enough personnel? Do we have enough financial resources to do our jobs? What regulations, rules, and guidance, internal controls do we have to operate under? And then, of course, if we're in an agency with elected officials, we've got legislative oversight um, from those elected officials and even higher up in the state and federal government. Um, One of the things I'd like to talk about is the types of competition, of which there are three. Pure or perfect competition, either of those terms is acceptable. Imperfect competition, and finally, monopoly. Under pure or perfect competition, there are a large number of buyers and sellers out in the marketplace. Products traded are homogeneous. Pencils, pens, paper, copy paper, um, unleaded gasoline, diesel fuel, milk, all those products. It really doesn't matter where you buy them. Uniforms to some extent, t-shirts. Um, Full knowledge of the market is available. Buyers tend to act rationally. Supply and demand is going to dictate what we pay for those products. Um, and suppliers compete for our business by offering the most favorable terms that they can. And then we get into imperfect competition, which is the area between pure competition and monopoly. And there are two forms. One is oligopoly. There's a market with a few sellers. And in this instance, you want to think about a product like a cell phone. Um, you'd swear they all use the same map of the United States to show you what their coverage is. But the pricing can be quite different. You can go from $30 a month up to $100 a month. They have different plans. It can be very difficult to understand and figure out which vendor is going to provide the best service for you. And the other type of imperfect competition is when you have many sellers with many offering many products. And the one that comes to mind to me is office supplies. Those stores, vendors have got an enormous amount of products. You're competing for, or they're competing for your business, typically by offering discounts off of some list of products. Years ago, we had these like 1 inch thick catalogs that used to come out every year, and we just look forward to them with anticipation. It was almost like Christmas shopping going through there. But nobody ever paid list on that, and a lot of these companies go out of their way to make you think that they have the best items, and it's just can be difficult to determine which one is the best, offering you the best price and service. In this situation, buyers have to be aware of the market and be prepared to negotiate the best deal. And then, of course, we get the monopoly, which simply means there is only one seller out there, and everybody is buying. It needs a product, they have to go to that vendor to get it. And this is where you get into your sole source and proprietary products or services. That vendor has the exclusive right to carry on that particular activity. Another thing I want to talk about is market stability. And we can have either a stable market or an unstable market. And it's important to know the difference, what's going on out there in the marketplace. Under stable markets, materials tend to be off the shelf. You can go into practically any store and pick up an item. In the short term, the prices may not fluctuate very much. over the long run, supply and demand determines what price you're going to pay. And again, it's pretty stable over time. So these types of products and services are perfect for term contracts. We in procurement love term contracts. We get the vendor signed up for a year or two, and we put some kind of price escalation clause in there, and we're good to go. On the flip side, we've got unstable markets, which have products like oil, minerals, agricultural products, things that are influenced by politics, the weather, unpredictable actions, speculation. And the thing that comes to mind is gasoline. It be all over the place. If you're the buyer in your agency that deals with buying gasoline for your agency, you want to pay attention every time something comes on the news about OPEC or another oil reserve being discovered somewhere or something. Because in an unstable market, we have to be aware of timing and plan as much as we can for any fluctuations that are involved with that market. Another thing that we have to deal with is the political environment. There are many groups involved in public procurement, management, interest groups out there, ourselves, coalitions of policymakers. The public sector buyers have to, we must be in a position to support the political initiatives of elected officials while still trying to follow the law, follow the regulations that we're operating under. And in this case, our elected officials are often coming up with social and economic policies that we have to incorporate into our solicitation documents, things like Buy American, veterans preferences, local preferences. If you deal in construction and get money from the federal government, you're dealing with Davis-Bacon. Minority, disadvantaged, women-owned businesses, we have to take those into consideration. And where these preference programs are developed, they target certain businesses to improve standards of living, to create business opportunities, creating jobs. At least that's the intent, to pump dollars into the community, perhaps increasing the tax base. And finally, another one that we oftentimes get into is green procurement or sustainability. Are we buying products, particularly out of wood or paper, that are sustainable, or forests being regrown, and so on? We can look at our specs for recyclable products, authorize the buying of refurbished products, not new stuff all the time. Perhaps we can factor in the energy consumption of a vehicle or a piece of equipment through life cycle costing. There are alternative fuel vehicles out there like compressed natural gas. And part of our job becomes educating the users on these products that are out there, and maybe having a preference for recycled products. So anyway, these are all things that are part of that environment that we operate, environmental factors that we operate under while we're trying to do our jobs in procurement. So I hope you found this a benefit. If you are preparing for one of the certification exams and testing in the next 11 and a half months, you're welcome to visit my Question of the Day website, which is qoftheday.net. Fill out a contact form and an email will come to me, and I can add you to the list. I send out questions Monday through Friday to whichever email you put in there. So I hope to see you again on a future episode of Procurement Nuggets. Thank you for your interest, and I'll see you next time. Bye.